Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. See, everyone's already on KP,
Welcome in.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, KP. Hello, Rhea. And hello, Georgie. So, folks, on our side, today we're going to be talking about owning pets and everything lovely about pets. So, this is one time we can all be. I'm sure there's a lot we do know, but a lot we don't know. But we have a special guest, Georgie, with us that we're going to be asking questions with today.
Hello.
And we're glad to have you. We all know Georgie. She's always been here when unfortunately Ray has been off and has done a spectacular job. But now we have the entire squad here today. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about this topic because it's something we all can relate to. Well, most of us. But hopefully we get to learn something new as we always do. Hello, Susan. So yeah, maybe we just, as they say, full de Franco, jump straight right into it with the first question from Rhea.
Our first question today was directed at UKP, and it was, why did you choose to own ferrets?
Oh, so this is a good question. Well, this is something that maybe everybody can relate to. It is Sea Otter Awareness Week. And despite my constant complaining about sea otters, I do actually love them, and especially when I first started working with them. But I realized obviously you can't have a sea otter as a pet as desperately as I wanted one. And I really started to like weasels and, realized that owning a ferret is the closest thing that I would ever have to owning a sea otter. And then I just started doing research about them and really kind of fell in love with the animal and like all different types of weasels. I just think that weasels are like the greatest. So yeah, I mean that's just kind of did my research. It probably also helped that my dad was like, you absolutely cannot have a ferret, like no way. And so I was like, okay, well then I'm definitely doing that. So easy peasy. So yeah, and then I got one, and lo and behold, I loved it just as much as I thought that I was going to, and so yeah, so then that's kind of the rest has been history. I've been owning ferrets for like 11 years or so, and I think I get to be a better ferret owner every single time. Um, so yeah, but they're definitely not a pet for everyone. What I really like about them is that like different from a dog, like I can put them in their cage for the evening, or like if we go out and not have any, don't have to worry about them doing too much, and typically they behave themselves. They sleep more, so it's a little bit less intensive.
Yeah.
I don't have to take them for walks. You all know how I feel about physical exercise. So those are just a few of the things that I really really like about them. I feel like they're a pretty low maintenance pet, but I guess that kind of depends on your definition of maintenance. They do require a lot more training than say like a cat just wants to use the litter box. That is not true with a ferret. You really have to train it. Um, and they are extremely mischievous. Hi. Um, so there's that as well. But I just think they're amazing. They also have a lot of health issues that we've talked about in the past. But yeah. So anybody who is interested in learning more about ferrets can definitely DM me about that. But
Ironically, if I had to get a ferret, it would be for the exact same reason you said. Is because I want a mini otter.
yeah.
So in celebration of Otter Week, if I can quickly ask one last question related to that, what is the most common trait that you think is the same that a ferret and an otter shares? Not their physical thing, but something that you've experienced in the aquarium versus going home and thinking like, oh, you're all the same. What is the most
Yeah.
common trait?
Just the absolute like will not quit tenacity and desire to find trouble. That's like I think that must be just a weasel sort of thing in general. So, it seems to me that across all species of weasel, that is the, just the ultimate lifelong desire to get in as much trouble as humanly possible.
So,
Is very much the same in sea otters and in ferrets too,
so would you
as we've
agree?
seen.
Would you agree with the phrase like "he's such a weasel" is somewhat accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I like it when they use it as
Like that? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, like they're finding trouble, or like
yes.
they can like weasel into things, but I don't like it when they're like talking about like being like deceptive or like sneaky. I don't find weasels are very deceptive. I feel like they're
Just
very
sneaky.
upfront about all the trouble that they are trying
Yeah.
to cause. And then they don't have any remorse about it. So so sometimes, but like when people are like, oh, what a weasel, and they use it like as a derogatory term. No, weasels are great. They're just very locked in to mischief.
I think you actually used the correct statement there of they like to weasel their way in. That just
Yeah.
reminds me of Katmai and all the ones like I'm just gonna try open this door or I'm just gonna try go over there. But anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for that information. And yes, it is Otter Week, guys. On my side, we're supporting otters this week. You can see the little QR code which helps Monterey Bay. We're going to be doing different ones every day. Sorry, I had to give a shout out to the otters this week. But let's move on to the next question.
The next question is a tie-in to the first one, and it's asking, what do your ferrets bring to your everyday life?
Oh.
Oh.
Well, this is getting to be a very cute AMA.
Yeah.
They always make me laugh. They're always doing something that is sort of silly or ridiculous. One thing that I find with dogs are great for many things, but one thing that I always find is that ferrets have, I think, infinitely more personality. Each one is like very, very different. And they all have like things that are similar, but they all are, very different personality wise. And so sort of like watching them, develop their personalities and have their little personalities is like, is super fun for me. And yeah, I'm always laughing about these guys. And so ferrets are very like I just never had anything be as unique as my ferrets could be. Even though dogs and puppies are cute, I think that ferrets have that advantage.
Yeah, we could just talk about ferrets the whole time. I'm happy with that, but let's
I
let's try to cover other
didn't
pets
compare
as well.
that.
I'll be like,
I
let's
thought
do
we
it.
were going to be
Ferrets.
talking about dogs, so I have like a dog live cam up, and but I don't know if there's a ferret live cam. I could check.
Oh, that is so cute. Oh yes, there's the dog live cam. We also do the kitten ones as well. They like the best when they're asleep. They're so
Oh.
cute. But yeah, suggestion for poll. What kind of pet do you have? Oh, very nice poll. Yeah, okay, guys. Moving on to the next question while I set up this poll.
The next question is, how long can dogs be alone, and how can they be less dependent? I've never left a dog alone, but I want to know if I can have one and go to work or give up having a dog.
Yeah, so see, that's so hard because that is totally going to depend on each individual animal. So what I would recommend is actually well, and I always recommend this, adopting. So if you go to adopt like, you're not going to be able to leave a puppy alone for any period of time, but you can adopt like an older animal who is at that point probably, and the adoption agency or whatever will be able to tell you a bit about the animal too. Likely going to be a little bit more comfortable being left alone for periods of time, especially if it's an older individual. And some dogs don't mind this at all. Some dogs are like totally happy to just chill by themselves all day and relax and take naps. And some dogs are just not. So there are things that you can do to work on, but that's a very difficult training to do. And
It's
it
a
takes
long process.
yes, it takes time, and you will likely never be like you'll never be in a position where you're not thinking about it. Right? So if what you want is like to completely not have to worry about and think about it, then I would definitely recommend adopting a dog that they're like, yeah, this dog just naps all the time and doesn't mind being left alone. They'll be able to tell you whether or not that is possible with a certain type of dog. But more, if you really want that like low maintenance, leave it at home, like get a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys want to be left alone from from my limited experience. But yeah, I mean, so that's a tricky one, and that's ultimately why, because Double and I had a dog for a little while, and my plan was actually to adopt her. We were just fostering her for a little while. My plan was to adopt her in the long run, and the reason that we didn't is because of stuff like that. She was not good at being left alone. She would whine and cry and scratch at the door and do a number of destructive things, and like having to take an animal outside to let it poop like 4 times a day is exhausting, and a number of other things. But yeah, I mean, maybe that just means dogs are not for you, or at this point in your life, and maybe that's totally fine. So I think that there's a pet for everyone. I mean, it's important to have like the pet and human needs, sort of in balance here, because if you're not happy, the dog's not happy either, right? So
I definitely think pets need to suit your lifestyle, your behaviors, and your habits. Like, you're not going to get a chicken or a rooster if you don't like waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, or a bird. But I've also mostly owned cats. And absolutely, as you say, they like to leave you alone, but when they do give you affection, it's because it's like earned. The only thing I've had both a flat cat, which apartment in America, and an outdoor cat, so one that used to scour the neighborhood. My anxiety levels went always through the roof, but it was amazing when this cat came home every single day and immediately wanted to leave me gifts with mice and things, and you learn about these animals and behaviors. Totally different to a dog, but I did become a cat person a little bit because of it. You definitely have to earn your affection with a cat. It really is that, like, nah, stop touching me now, it's done, I will bite you, leave me alone. Where a dog's like, you can scratch me the whole day and I'll be totally in love with this. Cat's like, nope, I'm done, can I go now? It's totally different animal. But yeah. Let's hear from some of the people in chat. Tell us I'll put a poll, tell us what pets you've owned, and that we'll take it along. But next question.
The next question is, what dog breeds can handle being alone?
Yeah. I mean, again, there are some like loose guidelines for breeds, but like this is gonna be more of like an individual animal. Like, you could have an animal of any breed that doesn't like to be left alone, or that really does like to be left alone. So, but you're not gonna, like, the thing that it really drives me crazy when people like in apartments buy or like get working breed dogs, like border collies, or I don't know, those types of dogs that are like made to be working farm dogs, like if in my experience, if you want a laid back chill dog that can live easily in an apartment, doesn't like to do anything, get a pug. Pugs are good that way.
A Shih Tzu.
Yeah. So that's just like, but again, that is just a loose guideline. Like, you can, easily find like high-strung pugs. So it's just but we growing up we always had pugs, and that really really worked well for our family, as they do not need an awful lot, and in fact do not usually like exercise, and really like snuggling. But also, if you want to have like a good night's sleep, a pug is not a good option for you because they snore. So so it's trade-offs all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good starting place. But there can be, the breeds is not going to give you everything about the animal. It's just kind of like a blueprint.
Oh yeah. Actually, you bring up dogs and things like that, and about the training and so on. And I don't know why that brought it up. By the way, if you're going to get a reptile, please make sure that you're willing to spend more on the equipment than actually on an animal. But they are very, very satisfying to actually own, because when a reptile snuggles with you, you're like, I managed to get a reptile to like me. But I would like to ask Reha. Now, Reha has one of the best trained dogs I've ever seen that is not from a trainer or that. But I mean, maybe Ray can give a bit of history of Akaka. And sorry, I said that completely wrong. But I mean,
No,
the person, yeah,
it was close.
close enough, close enough. I'm blaming South African. But I mean, of like, what stage did you start to train her, and how and how easy was it, and his personalities? I mean, when you speak about your little pups, he seems to be very connected emotionally to what's going on around the house. Seriously, it's one of the most amazing dogs I've seen. But maybe you can tell us a little bit of a history about your little pups and training it.
Well, we got Ikaika. We actually did adopt him, and he was 2 months old when we adopted him. And after about a week of just letting him get used to the house and the surroundings and all the people and the sounds, I had already started to train him like simple things of like sitting, laying down, staying, and getting him used to just normal things of like us if we have to pick him up or do something with him. And but he picks things up extremely fast. I trained him to come to me when I whistle for him. And really, the way he picked that up was I was looking at him one day. He was sitting next to me on the couch, and all I did was whistle at him.
Whistling.
And his ears perked up, and he like rushed to my face. And so, like, after that, I really I'd whistle, and he'd just come to me. A lot of things were really interesting of how fast he picked up a lot of things that we've trained him. I mean, it was so much that when we tried to train him to actually go outside to use the bathroom, to housebreak him,
yes,
he started to troll Taco, because Taco was like, okay, go outside, good job, I'll give you a treat. And so it got to the point where Ikaika would go outside, sit down, come back in the house and be like, okay, where's my treat, without using the bathroom. And so that was kind of a long process. But yeah, he's really fast, but he is also a working breed because he is a lab.
yes,
And they do have a lot of separation anxiety, I can say
Yes.
that, because they also kind of want to be moving around and doing things a lot. So having a lot of variety of toys for him is actually really important, especially if we're leaving him by himself for a while. But it just takes time. You have to work on them not feeling anxiety if you're changing your clothes because they think, oh my god, you're gonna go somewhere. You kind of just take it really slow. Like, I'm gonna change my clothes, I'm gonna walk outside and stay outside for a little while, and then I'm coming back. And then you just kind of treat them. And that's usually like the slow process of training a dog to be okay with being separated from you.
but that's
Yeah, it's a total process. Dude, the dogs on my page right now are like being so cute. I can't even. I basically haven't been listening to this thing you guys are saying.
oh my word.
No.
I've,
No, it is yeah, I mean and all things training are really tricky, and that's why I don't recommend like puppies really for anyone, because like if at least if at least you get like an adult dog, you can have the dog is like somewhat already molded to the person or the person well, dogs are people too,
Yes.
to the person that it is going to be, and and you're not going to be responsible for messing up this puppy. But and older animals in general are just a little bit more laid back. Where did Akaika come from? Like, what did you adopt him from?
The Humane Society, actually. So the weirdest thing of how I got Ikaika, and I know I've probably have said this before, but originally, a lot of people had passed away in my house and like my family, so it was like an emptiness, and I just had this gut feeling that a dog would change a lot of things in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so I became really determined to find a dog. And Taco really likes labs. His family has always had labs. And so I was like, okay, I need to find a lab. And I found two puppies with their mother that were put up for adoption from Humane Society. Originally, I wanted a girl. And when we headed out one day to look for this girl to adopt, everywhere we went that was listed where she would have been, she was not there. And I gave up. And so I had to get guinea pig food. And so we went to a pet store. And lo and behold, that pet store had an adoption event. And in this shopping cart was a sad puppy who was just laying out in the sun, all blah and just tired. And I was like, damn, because there was a couple looking at him already, and I was just like, you know what, we're probably not going to get him. And Taco was super determined. He's like, no, I'm going to stand here and wait. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I went, got the guinea pig food, came back outside. Taco was still standing there. And the couple were talking about him, and they were like, no, we only live in an apartment, and we already have a large dog. Maybe we can't take him. And so they turned to Taco, and they were like, do you want to take him? And he was absolutely. And
that's how Akaika came to our lives.
yep. And I don't think I've ever regretted it once, except for the time that he chewed my power cord for my Surface.
Oh,
Well, that's
You
gonna
know.
happen. It's like when people
Yeah.
own rabbits and the power cord gets chewed, and you're like, "Who let the power cord there? This is a animal." It's like you want to be angry. But I mean, I hope if you want Ray on our channel, that is share the videos when he goes to the shopping center.
Oh my gosh, he
God.
picks out his own
Oh,
toys.
How this dog is not more famous than it is. It's like one of the most amazing
Oh,
things.
you know,
The dog shops.
I had a chance to take a video yesterday because we were at the pet store and I was trying to get him used to I try to get him used to that he has to change his pace of walking when he's with me as opposed
Yes.
to Taco. And I do this like when we go to the pet store. And I gave my phone to Taco to like record, and he didn't want to.
Oh my
But
God,
But we went to the cashier because we were buying him some canned dog food. And the cashier's mind was just completely blown. That there was a dog that gave her, like, he put his can of dog food on the counter for her and
Yep.
like
This is
sat
mine,
down and ate
please.
it.
So
And
cute.
she was like, oh my God, where do I get one? And I told her like, yeah, he knows how to carry things and whatnot. And I told her, here, like lift up the can, hold it up, and tell him carry. And so she did, and he just took it from her and
Oh my
like
gosh.
just sat down again waiting. And
He's
she
so
was
cute.
just completely mind
That would have
blown.
been like the most instant TikTok fame or thing like that, because it's very cute. I mean, you're on your way to basically training a service dog. I mean, if you can train a dog like that, I'm just saying, I keep telling Ray, there's a hidden career that you're not fully exploring here, because that is an amazing thing. But yeah, very quickly before
Alright.
I move on to Georgie, because I wanted to ask about her pet experience in that. Someone asked me is, what do you feed Sahara, and do you take her for walks? She eats a lot of insects. but they have to be.
And Sahara first is for the people who
Is
don't know.
bearded
Sahara
dragon.
is JJ's bearded dragon. So in case you're wondering why we're
My-
feeding insects to an animal,
Yeah,
that's why.
my pineapple lady. Everyone calls
Yeah.
her the pineapple lady, but she eats insects, but they insects that you buy from the shop. I can't actually just go and grab insects out in the wild and give it to her because obviously she's not used to that sort of viruses and that and
Parasites and exactly.
parasites and all that. And she eats vegetables and certain greens, whether she likes to or not. She eventually, I've taught her now, thanks to KP actually, and listening to that trader, that if I whistle and say food, she immediately is like, oh, I can put this in my mouth. And then she eats it, and you can hear sometimes she stops, and then she carries on chewing. It's like, hold on, this wasn't what I expected. And do I?
Oh, well, it's already in my mouth. I might as well keep eating
might
it.
as well eat it. Do you take her for walks? Yeah, I do let her run around quite a bit because it's very important. Just like ferrets have a certain disease that they can catch because of their hormones, I believe it was. Bearded dragons are very susceptible to a certain kind of bone disease. And you need to feed them calcium, and you need to take them for walk and exercises so that they can actually do this. And also, they're solar panels, so you need to actually put them out in the sun to have them function. They actually require sun as part of their diet. So they literally walking solar panels.
They can't digest their food if they're not
Yes.
a proper temperature.
That's right. That's right. So the temperature in the cage is always at a certain thing. This is why I hate load shedding, because it affects my little pet. But the temperature has to be a certain thing. And if it goes below, I actually have to either take it to a vet or I have to warm it up very. So this one say, when you own a reptile, make sure you're willing to spend more on the equipment than you actually are on the reptile, because they need such intensive care just to exist. But then they also go into brumation during winter, so half the time it means basically they hibernate, except that they do actually wake up to pee-pee and poo-poo and eat, and then they go back to sleep for another couple of weeks. It's very strange. But yeah, there's my little Sahara. But because of the way we raise her here and because of the temperature, she actually, bearded dragons on this side hardly actually ever go into a long brumation. So there's my formal answer about bearded dragons. Yeah, so I never get peace and quiet. Yeah, so Georgie, your experience. Oh, I'm seeing the dogs on your side. So the audience, by the way.
The dog has destroyed the toy, and they are just eating the inside of the toy. Oh no!
Honestly, puppies are more important than me. Go ahead.
My audience can
No,
see
no.
the otters. By the way, I literally, if you guys just saw just now, the otter literally in slow motion wrapping itself in kelp was amazing. And now it's grooming slippers. And we're seeing the dogs at the same time. It's just too much goodness. But yeah, Georgie, tell us about your experience in life with pets.
Yeah, I mean, I have a dog, and he is my favorite thing in the world. And yeah, I mean, I think in all honesty, my love for the idea of animal assisted therapy and the ways in which animals can benefit people comes really from my relationship with him. Yeah, I have a lot of fondness for the idea that animals can bring a lot of joy and comfort and things like that. Yeah.
I'll ask everyone this. Does everyone in chat believe that you could have a relationship akin to having a child? I know it's a very controversial group, but everyone's like, get a dog before you get a child. And I'm thinking, to me, it's like they shouldn't play off one another in that way. But does anyone feel here that you could have the same relationship with your pet as you would do with your own child?
I mean,
everyone
I don't
went
have
silent.
a child.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, I would definitely say they're certainly like a family member. Like, I'm not sure whether it be like akin to like a child, but
Yeah,
I would definitely say they're a proper member of the family.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just different. I mean, I don't think like you wouldn't have the same relationship with your child that you would with your brother and things
Come
like
here,
that
Steven,
too. So
come
like,
here.
so it's just I think, but I think they can absolutely and should be members of your family. And there's a lot of you know this happens a lot, especially when animals pass away. There's a lot of like people who feel or are made to feel like they need to get over things faster and things like that because it is just a dog, or
Yes,
it's
good
just a
one.
cat, or it's just a pet. But it's not. I don't think it should be. I think we have to start treating them a little bit differently, and not feeling bad about like not feeling guilty for grieving an animal in a way that is very similar to losing a family member.
Yes.
Um so
I
yeah,
can.
like yeah, and Double's saying I'm still not over some of the ferrets we lost. Absolutely. We
Yeah.
still
Yes.
think about them all the time. And so and I think that that's fine. And as a society, I feel like we need to get better at not um at not causing guilt for people for these types of things, especially
Yes.
as millennials are coming into the age where not most millennials, but many millennials are choosing to have pets rather than have kids. So
Yes. That's, yeah.
these are family members and should be treated that way, I think.
That was actually going to be
Yeah, I mean,
the part I brought up is about how many people have choosing pets rather than having a child. It's
Hmm.
yeah, I mean,
But
I agree. It's like it's a relationship. It's still just like any other
mm,
relationship you have with um other people, other animals, things like that. It's it's not so much about what it is, it's your relationship with them and the impact that they've had on you. Um, and their personality and who they are, as opposed to it being like, oh, it's a dog or a cat or a
it's
human or
just an
whatever.
animal
Like,
or
yes.
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like it's very individual, and some people won't be as affected, and some people will be. Like it's just very individual, and we should.
Mm.
I think, yeah, you're right. We should start respecting that and not underestimating that.
Hmm.
My chat's been very funny. Some of them are
And
saying
so
my ex-hubby once accused me of loving the cat more than him. He wasn't wrong. And I do love my son, but I would love my pets just as much. It's, yeah.
So Georgie, what did you do this like give us the background on like this research and like who was involved, who was polled, and like what the sort of goals were.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So, um, for me, it was about a year ago and a bit, when I first found Joey, and I had realized how much he was impacting me. I was finding that if I was stressed, I would watch Joey, or when I was watching Joey, I felt calmer, I felt happier, I was enjoying the community interactions, and it was generally just having a positive impact on me. And I realized that kind of combining that with um, my love for animal assisted therapy, and I mean, I will get into it next week, but animal assisted therapy is its kind of own thing. But the
Mm.
idea that animals can be so beneficial to people's health is something, as said, I love, and I realized how much it tied into my watching Joey. And so I set out to do this survey. I kind of got permission from everyone, and sort of try to devise something that I felt would represent both my feelings about Joey and also from what I'd read about other people, and their experiences would hopefully represent their feelings about it as well. Um, and so, I mean, goals wise, really, there weren't any. It was mostly just I'd like to see how whether the few anecdotes I'd seen on live chat and things like that, and my own experience, whether that was a more generalized experience as well, whether it wasn't just one or two people, but I wanted to see if it was a little bit further out as well. And I was expecting like maybe 20 people to respond, something like that. And ended up getting like 487 responses.
Wow.
Nice.
um, yeah, which was insane. It was amazing. It was a little bit overwhelming.
Mhm.
um, but it was amazing. So I, the people who responded, I'm so grateful for, and the amount of effort that people put in, and the dedication they put into actually answering all the questions and everything. So yeah, and I asked a bunch of different questions. I asked things like, where in the world are you watching Joey from? How often do you watch Joey? What parts of the community have you interacted with, if any, and do you feel part of a community? How is your understanding of, or has your understanding of sea otter and marine mammal conservation changed? And if so, in what way? And even just those answers, I mean, I can kind of give you a few. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like the ways in which people watch Joey, 65% had been interacting on YouTube live chat, 15% on Discord, 16% on the Facebook group. I mean, 29% had said that they hadn't taken part in any interactive platforms, but I say the vast majority had, and that was sort of contributing to their feeling of being in a community.
Yeah.
And I mean, countries wise, we had people from. Oh, my laptop's just stopped working. Hold on. Here we go. We had, 50% were from the USA, 12.5% from Canada, 9.4% from UK, and then otherwise it was, countries like. I mean, there were 48 countries that I recorded, and it was like Malaysia, Italy, Finland, Denmark, Mexico, New Zealand. It was such a massive range of people, which really brought home to me how much of an impact Joey had, even just on that surface level of reach.
Yes.
That many people were from those, such a wide range of countries were invested in Joey and his journey, and wanted to share their experience. It wasn't just them watching, but it was actually they felt that they wanted to share that experience with him, which I felt was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I mean, community wise, it was 91% felt part of a community, which I felt was pretty amazing.
That is really
Um,
amazing.
and it's easy to underestimate the impact of, you just kind of think, oh yeah, we're part of a community, and it's a word that's thrown around a lot in
Yeah.
society, I think. But it's, as I say, it's easy to underestimate just how much of an impact having that social network and social support network can have for people. So
Yeah.
in that respect, I was also really excited because Joey was providing a real, a real support network for people who, especially with the, last couple of years that we've had, that's been more necessary than ever for people to feel linked and
Mhm.
in contact with people and have a connection with people.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
this sort of exploration into Joey the sea otter and the whole sea otter community is kind of what led you into looking into pets and what they're doing for people's mental health?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
been interested in it for sort of 7 or 8 years,
Hmm.
but I've definitely done more research into it since Joey as well, and it's something that I'm hoping to kind of carry on doing. I mean, eventually, that's the sort of thing I want to sort of be the field that I'd like to be working in, really.
Mm.
Super cool. Okay, cool. So then,
Oh, sorry.
no, I just want to hear more about this, about the benefits of having a pet
Yeah.
and what you found.
What is
Yeah,
the
I mean,
most common thing that you actually found with the research that stood out from anything else, if I may ask?
for me, it was, I mean, to give you a little bit more background, I asked 5 main questions, open answer questions, where people could write whatever they want. It wasn't just, yes or no.
Yes.
Um, and those were, why do you watch Joey? What impact has watching Joey had on you? Again, your experience with the community. Um, And while you're watching Joey, how do you feel? And the thing that stood out most for me was just how much of a positive impact he had on people's actual well-being. It was things like helping people with mental health, helping people with even physical health, pain levels. It helped people with pain, which I thought was utterly amazing. The idea that, this tiny little floofy, goofball was actually helping people deal with, physical pain and, things like not
Yes.
being able to sleep and things like that. And
Oh,
like
yes.
both physical and mental health issues is one of the most exciting things for me. The idea that that could be happening and that he's helped
Well,
so many people with that.
it's such an interesting thing too, because your brain is like so important. And when you talk about like helping with like actual pain, all that
Yes.
is their brain, telling them that they feel fine, or distracting them, or whatever. Because obviously a pet can't physically take away any kind of pain, but it's that full effect of what they mean for people, and that relaxing, calming presence, the laughter, the fact that you can't
Yes.
like look at a cute dog without going, oh,
Yeah, like you just want to
I mean, like
open
that's yeah, it's like endorphin rush, right? And so yeah, I mean, I think that's so interesting, that like the power that our brains have over over these types of things, and that pets and animals can be so influential to your mind and your mental health, and then that carries on and affects your physical health.
But
No,
absolutely.
definitely. And it can be difficult to kind of manage things like the mental health and physical health. And like you were saying, your brain is responsible for a lot of that.
Yeah, it's our worst
But
enemy
especially
sometimes.
especially the last couple of years, this has
Yes.
been a struggle.
Yeah, people left
Yeah,
alone with their
exactly.
thoughts, and the brain just wants to take it to another
Exactly. And the brain
dimension.
can just sort of take control sometimes, and it's not always easy to kind of take back that control. And I think sometimes what Joey kind of provided as well was it kind of let the brain take a break. It's kind of like, actually, you don't need to be kind of so worried about this or that or what's going on in the world. Or, a big theme in the results was actually escapism. And I feel
Mm.
like Joey allowed people to just sit for a minute and just, their brain just could just stop. And that's really important. Like, it's just giving a helping hand. It's not like it kind of rewired the brain or it was doing anything like that necessarily. I mean, I have no idea, but it, in circumstances like these particularly, even just those little things that just give you a little helping hand, a little step up, can be so big and so impactful. And I think that's what Joey did as well. He just gave that little kind of nudge for your brain to just go, oh, actually, it's okay. I'm going to focus on this. This is nice. This is happy. And again, happy, I feel like, is a word that gets thrown around a lot. And it's kind of, because it's such a commonly used word and feeling and everything, and it's something we've grown up with and things, but the power of being happy is underestimated. And I think that Joey gave people genuine happiness. And I think that will have translated into, helping in other areas of life, and like things like mental health and physical health and general just improved well-being. If you're just feeling calmer, less stressed, feeling a bit more comforted and things like that, you're going to be so much more able to face whatever else is going on.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think it's why I get so excited about the impact that he's had, because it's so much bigger than just a little otter in a crib making people, oh, I feel happy, is so much bigger than that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and like you said too, it's a like the whole mental thing is very much like a rolling a snowball down a hill, right? Because if you're headed in the wrong direction, then everything is going wrong. But when you can get something that sort of resets, um, resets your thought process and your like how you deal with things on a day-to-day basis, like Joey did, like you said, you'd be feeling stressed out, turn on the stream, okay, that's now this is going right, now
Yes.
now I can feel better about this, and then all of a sudden I can solve some other problems that are happening, and everything else doesn't seem like that big of a deal anymore, and stuff like that. So that's, it is really incredible, like the just that one little thing. And then, like you said too, you watching Joey feeling a little bit better mentally, all of a sudden maybe able to engage with a community in a way that you really hadn't in the past. And then that goes another step towards improving where you're at and your mental health and things like that. And it's just it's a snowball effect in the right direction. So it's super
Exactly.
interesting.
But I think
Yeah,
one of
no,
the
absolutely.
most important things is one of the things that I found, and I used to chat to my community, is we slightly joked about it, but it almost like everyone had a story. Everyone was a little bit broken. And just as you said, a lot of the people took a while to get in the community, and they've said, I didn't want to chat, but then I decided to chat after a while, and I absolutely can't go back. It's like Joey was a little bit of an icebreaker, pun intended. We actually gave us a common interest, something to talk about with people that we wouldn't normally have a conversation with. Introverts, extroverts. We actually found a community in happiness to the point now. I mean, this has happened quite often. It's like if any of my community members are not there for a couple of days, I worry. But I chat more to my friends now on Discord and the Otter community than I do my own family. Which is not saying anything wrong with family, but I really am so much invested. I mean, everything that we're doing.
I completely agree. I
It's
completely
totally
agree.
different. And it's all started because, and I think for me, one of the most things is because Joey reminds myself, and I'm not trying to do that human trait thing again, but when things are going bad, just keep things simple. Just keep things simple, because Joey was the simplest of creatures in terms of his actions. He slept, he played, he ate, but every single thing he did felt new. It's regardless if he fell into the pool. It's like, I never thought that an animal that would be sleeping for 12 hours could actually be so entertaining in the actions that he does. And it's like, and he did it with minimal effort. And so do all the other artists. They do things that we know they're different traits. And they minimal effort. All they're doing is just being otters, being themselves, if I can use that term. And it's a very, very powerful connection. It's like uncomplicated, watching otters do what they do best. It's a very special thing.
Well, and like you said, I think like not to be underestimated is the fact that like absolutely, I and our communities have grown very large, but I know these people, and I know, of course I don't know like everything that's going on in your life, but like things that you've shared on the Discord or whatever, like I remember, like, and I'm terrible with like faces and names, so I think it's kind of nice that you guys all just have names, and so I don't have any problem. Like I remember, like Nybor came up with our new, we're the K Peeps, and Pug Mom just came to visit me at the aquarium, and Everglades likes to draw. Like I know all these things about you guys, and so it's so interesting the way that it allowed us to sort of explore a new avenue for having relationships and community in a time where it would have otherwise been impossible.
Even that, you said that with Pug Mom when she was visiting the aquarium, it was a big thing on our channel. She streamed a little bit, she showed videos, we heard you, and Sean was on our channel. It was a big event. For someone who's just visiting an aquarium, it's a big event. And I do feel it actually also from the other side is that it brings real people into the realms, and I hate to use this word, so sorry for paraphrasing, but like being a celebrity. And I've always found that missed. We have actors that are famous, we have actors, but there was a real glow to having like yourself, Rachel, Sean, having these people that are actually making a difference in the world, being held to that like, oh, I'm going to meet KP. KP's on the channel. I'm going to meet them.
It's so
It's a
funny
real thing.
to be at the aquarium and have people go like some people still, hey, that's Wine and Wins, like, and like I've been approached by people who are like, oh my god, like are you KP? And like it's really kind of funny. It's very interesting, but yeah, it's like definitely
Yes.
you know, when Pokemon was there, she was like, there's Jessica, like, you know, it's like
It is
it's
such
so
a
funny.
thing. And it's, I mean, it's amazing how many people now, I've always known about them, but how many people now know about Norde or, or Nordi,
Yeah.
you know, as we say on the
Yeah.
last one, from No Shoes and Shoes. I mean, it's building such a big community. And now I feel the real people that deserve this sort of traction because they educate are now, I feel hopeful that they're getting this sort of that, because it really is people. I think of Vancouver Aquarium, I don't just think of Vancouver Aquarium in general, I think of Vancouver Aquarium as the people that are there. It's like, yeah, that place at KP, Drenna Rachel and Joey the Otter and Mr. Lola and the Walrus and all these characters. I mean, even when Heather went away, it was like a really sad thing for me. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've developed relationships with these people and animals that are actually somewhat meaningful, that it actually is a heart thing. This is why I do understand, and folks, you got to explain things happen for a reason, but when a camera goes down in that, everyone loses their mind. But, you know, it's for real reasons, but you can see the connection and emotional validation of how important these little furry lumps in the water have become, and by extension, everyone else. It's really been, it is our emotional escape. But now, it's not even emotional escape to me, because now I'm back at work and think, now it's something that I want to be invested in. It's like, this is not just an escape now. It feels like as if I'm giving up time with the artist to do everything else, when it used to be the other way around. I'm like, oof, I've stopped working because I'm watching artists. Now it's like, oh, I have to work. I can't watch the artists. It's the opposite. It's a real different thing.
Yeah, so I mean, anyway, I mean that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a distraction.
Welcome to JJ and I going off on tangents again.
But back to Georgie
Yeah,
and the research.
Georgie.
If I can ask you a question, Georgie, out of the pets
Yeah.
that you did research with, in other words, let's go back to the actual pets like dogs and cats. Are there any common indicators that you find existed with people that had a relationship with cats versus people that had a relationship with dogs? Is there any sort of thing that stuck out in that regard?
I mean,
And people were
my-
just weirder than dog people. Is that?
Yeah, well,
Like,
you know,
It's got to be. No, just
my
kidding.
my research didn't. I mean, I didn't actually ask about people's pets, so I wouldn't know. I mean, the research that Reha and I did this week might have some sort of more indication of that, but that wasn't anything that I asked specifically about pets, so I couldn't really say. I mean, people did talk about, you know, some people kind of volunteered some information about owning pets, and how some people who say were away from home and who were missing pets, that Joey did kind of fill a bit of a gap. And you know, people who just couldn't have a pet felt like they were having a pet through Joey without the responsibility, but were getting that, you know, emotional response and things like that. So, you know, he filled so many different functions for people in so many different ways. You know, each person, I feel like each person who's watched Joe and who's you know, had that experience with him, they have their own individual experience.
Yes.
And it matters to each of them in different ways, and it impacted them in different ways. But at the core of it, it's all people, like you said, it's like that common thing, and so we've all got that in common, that Joey has helped us in all sorts of different manners. But yeah, we're all connected by it, which is also just so important. I mean, the past year has been, you know,
Very
something or other.
different.
It's been a thing.
It's
Been a
been,
thing.
it's what a time. It's just been a time.
And we've needed connection more than ever.
Yes.
And Joey has provided that, and it's provided, he's also provided that point of constancy. That was another big theme, is that, the world kind of just turned upside down, and suddenly everyone's routines and structure and, familiarity with everything completely changed, or disappeared. And so the fact that Joey was on 24/7 meant that people could rely on him. And I think that's also really important, is that, let's say the past year and a half, I'm not sure we've had a whole lot to rely on,
Right.
except for the
Yes.
fact that it's there.
No, that's a really interesting point. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, like he was consistent, and it provided consistency for people in a time where there was very little control over your life and
Yes.
everything that's going
He
on.
was
Exactly.
available.
You didn't
He was
know-
always available.
Mhm.
Yeah, you didn't know if you're going to be going out. You didn't know if you could go to the shops. You didn't know if toilet paper was going to be there. You didn't know, all sorts of things were completely thrown up in the air. And again, I keep saying we have to not underestimate, but that's such a big thing. For a
Yes.
year and a half, everyone's lives have just been completely gone, we have no idea what's
Different.
going on.
It was very,
And
yeah.
it's so unsettling. And to have something like Joey that was always there, whether it was 1 p.m. and you're just kind of having lunch, or 3 a.m. in the morning and you can't sleep, and it's like, oh,
That's me.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I went to. And you're actually so right. I mean, when I used to wake up at 3 a.m., it's a common thing for me. You used to scour YouTube videos, and a lot of the YouTube videos actually just made me blur. But Joey was the one consistent thing that if I turned on Joey, I knew exactly how I was going to feel. I predicted the emotional involvement in this. So I sort of chose my path. And they really have made a difference. They really have, all of them. And we always talk about Joey, but I've always said they're like a little small favorite. Like, I love Joey, but now Katmai is my favorite. And then Quatsi came in on the scene, and it's like, oh my god, Quatsi. And it's like you have your different relationships with even the different otters. I have a different.
sorry, I'm back. Did I drop off?
I think.
Were you
I think
were you
did.
talking? Because then yes.
Yes,
Because
you
we have
it said it's like you just stopped, but you stopped right at a critical part of the scene, like it just ended off. But yeah, it really has been a
What did
difference.
what was I last saying? I don't even know where I dropped off.
Well, yeah, I
About
don't know. I mean,
the-
we were just talking about the consistency and how it was, it was a constant in our lives in a time when there was
Yeah.
absolutely nothing that anybody could rely on. And you were saying
Exactly.
that Joseph was more reliable than toilet paper. And I think that's kind of where you left off.
But let me ask the real
Well, yeah, I
question
mean
here.
that's fair.
Versus how many people have dogs versus cats out of the research?
Oh, Reha, that's
Yeah, we've got dogs versus cats.
We
So
were
what?
Here we go.
surprised.
There we go.
We were
There we were.
actually if you go to the 2A tab, it's the
Yeah.
breakdown.
Okay, here we
Okay.
go. So we've got 33% dogs, 35% cats. I would have said that there were more cat people, but it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's very-
I guess, did this exclude, like, because I'm sure some people have dogs and cats. Were they able to, like,
So this breakdown is just specifically who marked down dog or cat or small pet bird exotic.
okay.
The previous one is actually the full breakdown
Hmm.
of like what people actually answered
Oh, I
for
see.
multiple pets.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can you read out the percentage because it's very small on our screen for us? Maybe the most popular ones.
Sure, we'll go to, I mean, for this one, we've got 33.4% breakdown of people who own dogs, 35% cats, Small pets are 15%. Birds, very small, 1.7%, which is
Yeah.
probably a good thing. They are a very special pet. And exotics, 11.7%. What was all included in exotics, though?
Yeah, was it like
Like, what was the
Small
difference between a
Small
go ahead.
pets were mainly like guinea pigs,
Hamsters.
hamsters, mice.
an exotic
so
pets would be
chicken
like
and
lizards,
rats.
I would assume,
So
or
exotic
spiders.
pets were like your ferrets and
Okay.
like in JJ's case, his bearded dragon.
Okay.
His-
Okay.
And the bigger
exotics
lizards that
being, like-
people, yeah, like
Yeah, what about
specialty
fish?
pets. Yeah, what happened to fishies?
Fish probably fell under exotics.
Yeah.
I'm sadly to say because
To
when I
me
think
now,
of small pets, I think of people who own like guinea pigs and hamsters.
to me now the word
Right.
exotic,
Bunnies, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
exotic means high maintenance. Fish, reptiles, spiders.
Exotic means high
Yeah,
maintenance. Yeah.
exotic. Even ferrets, high maintenance, have to constantly be there, cost a bit. But here we go. What kind of pet do you have? So what was the feedback there?
So there's a lot of, this is where
Yeah.
the crossover comes in. So like
Yes.
people who owned a dog and a cat, 9.1%.
Huh.
Or is there people that owned like everything? Like
Yeah.
Small
let's see.
pets, bird.
Dogs, cats, small pets is like, so this is just like getting into like the crazy, we have
Yeah, like,
one
this is-
Yellow.
one
huge
person
breakdown.
who is like just really, really into animals. Yeah, so it's just that this is a more in-depth breakdown of
Yeah.
But I
The
can see
generalized breakdown. of
my
the second
perception
tab.
was
Yeah.
almost like people who own dogs and cats the same, and people who own dogs and small animals. I see a lot of people who own small animals that own dogs. Like it's that shared relationship. Interesting.
yeah.
I am one of those people.
Yes. I mean, there we go.
I kind of think that I would like to get into like fish and stuff like that, but it's a totally different world and stuff like that. I mean, you have to really
This
Maybe-
is tough.
Oh, here we go. Do you have multiple pets? Okay, so
Wow.
people who had not a lot of people had just one pet. We've got 36.4%. How many people participated in this survey, Reha?
A total of 50 people
Okay.
submitted for the
So,
survey,
it's a
so
good-
it's
it's
a
a good
pretty
number.
decent number.
Hey,
I feel bad. I feel like I should have probably completed
I
your survey.
honestly forgot to take my own survey.
I
Yeah,
did
that's
too.
okay.
I just realized.
how's it everyone that creates the survey didn't do the survey?
Right, just
Wow.
we're just the people having the AMA,
Hey, I mean,
and we
it
forgot
means
to do
that-
it.
Yeah.
Asking for
we didn't
audience
have, like,
participation and not a
research
single
bias.
one
The
of us did
audience,
it.
the pod squad just didn't do the survey. It's like,
I think NA is just like somebody who doesn't have any pets, right? Is
Yeah.
that probably what
Yeah,
that
that was the not applicable. Yeah.
not applicable? Yeah. Okay, so do you have
I mean,
multiple
yeah,
pets?
it just
Most
means
people
that we
have?
didn't have any researcher bias going into it.
There
It's
you
just-
go.
it's
There you
more
go.
scientific.
absolute true.
It was entirely intentional.
Do you-
Yeah.
Do you feel having multiple pets affects your bond with each individual? Okay, please break down what you mean with that question. I don't want to.
I think this one is saying like, do you like if you have a pet by itself, do you feel like you have a stronger bond with that pet than you do when you have multiple pets? Like what's
So like
the
favorites.
Well, no, I mean, kind of like my interpretation is like, do you feel that your bond with your animals is like in any way lessened because you have multiple animals? You know what I mean?
Because I'm very.
So
Yeah, the results are very.
Go ahead, Reha.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this actually falls into one of the questions that were submitted for the AMA is that if you have multiple pets, is it bad that you have a favorite? Which
Oh, yeah,
I-
that's what I'm saying.
I don't-
Okay.
I think so.
I don't think so either. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I think this is another one of those things that we've got to stop like guilting ourselves and each other over. I mean, like, there's this stigma, even like even at work, we were always told to never like have favorites, and of course we have favorites. So then you're
Yes.
just lying to yourself. Like you can't you can't like mind over matter yourself into like loving an animal less, or I mean, like it doesn't really
Yes.
work that way.
Yeah,
So
it's inevitable.
so yeah, I mean, Mac the ferret is clearly my favorite, and I love him more than anything, and I would take a bullet for this ferret. It's the same is not true of Buddy. I do love Buddy in a very different way, but I don't think that there's anything that we have to be ashamed of for those types of things. So like even to a certain degree, I think that like parents need to not
Yes, I was about to bring that up.
be need to not be, and maybe I'm saying this because I know that I'm the favorite child, but like so maybe I would have different opinions if I was not, but like I mean, like parents need to like, of course that they're going to have different relationships, and like you're going to have a different relationship with your with one parent as you might with another parent, and that's okay for that relationship to be different and to be changing, and I think the same is true with your animals.
Works both ways. Like we
Yeah,
have favorite uncles and aunts versus
Yeah,
it's the
yeah, and
exact same
maybe
trait.
like Pema's saying, maybe favorite's not the best word.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like
More
it's
common-
a difference in relationship.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
exactly.
it's
That's what I was
commonality.
going to say, is that
Yeah.
it's you form different types of bonds, and different qualitative bonds with different animals and different people. It's just the same. It doesn't have to be about favorites. It's just that you've got a different relationship with each animal, and you'll love the different qualities in different ways.
And I think
Yeah,
it's about the draw,
sure.
because you'll be attached more to an animal that more fits in, as with kids, when you have kids, that fits in more with your habits and way of mind and state than you would something else or someone else. It's just like if you have a dog and a cat, you own both a dog and a cat, and you're the type of person that prefers a cat personality, you are going to feel closer to the cat in that way. And I don't think that's wrong. It doesn't mean that you're removed from affection from either of them. It's just, I agree. We must stop feeling
No,
guilty
I agree.
to be
Yeah,
this.
I
Oh,
agree.
you love them all the same. No, you don't. No, it's not the case.
How many more questions do we have? Because we've already it feels like the more people we add to this stream, like the exponentially more we talk.
Absolutely, there's a lot more to say.
Actually, we had 3 more questions technically. Yeah, 3 more questions.
Okay,
Let's power through them.
let's fire ahead.
So this question was, what was the best kind of food for pets?
Oh, that's so hard. I mean, like, so if you guys have specific, pet questions and stuff like that, you can definitely pop them in like my Discord for the Ask KP, and I'll tell you what I know. But if you're asking about reptiles, you should go ask JJ. So yeah, I think for anything like more really specific like that, if you have like some really specific pet questions, I'd love to answer them for you, and pet behavior and all that kind of stuff is like kind of my jam. So feel free to pop that in we have an Ask KP section. I think it's under the AMA category in our Discord.
Should have its own jingle. Ask KP. Something.
Yeah.
Seriously. But yeah, do research. Next question.
So our next question is, should you feel worse, I would assume, if you feel more sorrow over losing a beloved animal than a person?
Oof.
Well,
It's
I
a really
don't think
heavy-handed question.
Yeah.
I think it really depends.
Yeah, and I don't think you should feel like any kind of loss is individual to you, and is going to be completely different, and you need to grieve in your own way, and you need to do what's best for you, and so and in each one is going to hit you very differently, and I always find in that times like it's super important to just let yourself feel exactly what you need to feel, and so I don't think that there's any like, I don't think that it's worth troubling yourself over comparing these types of things. I mean,
Yeah.
like grief is so hard, and like the loss of pets and the loss of people in your lives are all going to affect you in very, very different ways. So and it also changes as we age and as we like move through life and like have different experiences and those types of things. So it's yeah, that's a very philosophical question. I think that you're almost gonna have to answer for yourself.
I think the best
Yeah.
answer there is that it's situational. It's very situational. You can be very much prepared for a human loss if you know that they're going to pass and that they're aware of it. And some people feel a lot of worse when a pet goes because a pet didn't understand and he tried to do its best. But at the same time, there's also the opposites when you lose someone very, very close to you. And I think it's very situational of what it is. There
Yeah.
is no yes or no answer to that because it will be different. I've had situations where I felt more for a loss of an animal than I did for a human, but that's not saying ever that I haven't been like absolutely devastated, and I do. Where people's loss has still affected me today as much as an animal's loss. But there's others that you absolutely get over it very quickly. It's very situational.
I feel like it really, like, as situational as it is, for me, it's always been my relationship was between the pet and the person.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like, really, because that your relationship with either your pet or a person in your life, it weighs heavily on how you're going to react.
Yeah, it's there's no right or wrong or telling
Yeah.
people, you know, what it is or what it isn't. So it's just going to be so personalized to you and your experience and your relationship and
And one thing we have discussed
everything
here
about it.
is simply just don't feel guilty for your emotions. If you feel
Yeah.
that you've cared more about a pet loss than a human loss, don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
That is not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, these otters though, like, oh, Captain, oh, you see, like, absolutely 100%. If touch wood, if something had to happen to one of the otters, there's definitely I'll have a much more larger emotional reaction to that than I would do with some of the people in my life. It's just a different kind of bond, and I don't feel guilty for that. It's
When
No.
Rialto was ill, I
Oh.
honestly had like a like
A lot of our community did.
kind
You
of
know who you,
reaction.
yeah. A lot of our community were constantly worried about what happened to poor
Mhm.
Rialto.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah, it's a hard thing and it's also why it's such a uh, like this in this field we deal a lot with you know, basically emotional burnout and that type of thing because we do lose animals and it becomes just a part of the job and so in a lot of ways you're never really like the same is true with like vets and stuff and you see a lot of that in the vet industry where they're just having to go on like you know you lose a pet in the morning or lose a you know an animal in the morning and then you have to move straight on into the rest of your day because the animals depend on you and yeah I'm sure it's similar for people working in ERs and hospitals and so gosh
God,
that's kind of
cat
cute
my.
so yeah I mean that's you know it's a thing and learning how to deal with it appropriately and still function in your job is like a it's not an easy thing.
Where's Catma's
I was just
ears?
thinking
By the way, sorry,
I
I
was
So
was
just thinking
behind
as well. Oh, sorry.
carry on, carry on. Sorry, Georgie, I had a moment.
No, it's fine. And I don't know whether there is any actual scientific research behind this, but I was just sort of wondering out loud, really, is that I would imagine that, you know, losing a pet or a person, it just triggers a grief process. You know, your brain isn't going to necessarily, you know, because there's a lot about your brain that is so instinctual and so kind of that doesn't go to your it's your frontal lobe where you know your executive functions are and your kind of what makes us different to say the otters or whatever. Um, your brain doesn't always go there when something happens. It can just shortcut to it being a very instinctive pattern of not so much functioning, but well, neural functioning. And that I reckon it would probably just trigger the grief process as your brain is just programmed to respond, and it's not going to necessarily understand, oh, that's for a pet, oh, that's for a human. It's just, oh, we're grieving, and
Yeah.
that's happening. And I would imagine, and I don't know, I'll find out after the stream, I'll do some research, but I would imagine there are literal neural patterns in your brain. I think there might be a particular part of your brain that will probably be heightened activation or deactivation when your brain just sort of switches into the grieving process. And I don't think we necessarily are going to have a ton of control over that. So, it's difficult for us to
Yeah,
then
it'd be
sort of-
interesting. I'd be interested to hear what your research is on that, because I know
Yeah.
that and this is probably just from years of having to do it. I have almost complete control over like grief, especially if I am at work. So there's something different for me about being at work.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's like having completely rewired my brain from having to work in a place where if something happens, you just have to move on immediately.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
no time for that. So I'd be super interested to hear what your
I'll
research
have a look. I
shows
mean,
out
I
of
don't
that.
know how much research there is on it, but I'll have a look and let you know next week.
That is actually very.
Yeah, I mean, well,
that's one question.
that's
I would
nice.
also, yeah, that whole thing
It's
of like, how many people need to take time off and can't be at work versus the people like, I have to be at work to get over this. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I will sometimes just have to go to work because it's just better for me there. But yeah, I mean, Golganek's saying that they admire that. Well, let me qualify this with, I'm not exactly sure that you should admire it, because there are like, I think, incredible disadvantages to not experiencing and coping with grief in like essentially my brain just goes, whatever, it's not even like, I just don't deal with it. So I don't know that that's actually a good thing. So I'm not saying that like it's like, oh, I'm like a superhero. No, like I am mentally unwell when it comes to grieving. Like I am just not. I've gotten better, I think, over the last little while since I've recognized it. But there was a time where it was just like.
But you're aware of your coping mechanisms. Is that what you're trying to say? You're aware.
I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm not grieving appropriately. But I don't think that I think that there's some. I think there's distinct disadvantages to that as well.
But even said, I don't think it's inappropriate. I just think it's you've developed a system that makes you function, that allows you to function after all of it.
Sure, yeah.
As long as you're not murdering
Doesn't
people.
mean that you function better though. Like, I don't think that like being able to go right back to work after a very like painful event really makes it seem like you're actually coping better with it, because there are effects to actually doing things like that. At least in my personal experience, I've experienced that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that it's a great thing for the job, but it is not necessarily. It's not necessarily what I would consider healthy behavior for, like, I think we should, as a society, I think we should just like accept crying more, and like and just have more empathy for people, and because I think that's where it all stems from, is not not being allowed or not feeling like you're allowed to feel certain things because you have a job to do, when I think that if we were all just a little bit more sort of open and empathetic and accepting of people's emotional states, then maybe we would be in a better place as a society. But maybe that's a story for a different time, because we're already over on our AMA.
Let's get to this last question.
One more question?
No, actually,
This
it's
is good.
okay.
This is
Yeah.
it's all
educational.
okay.
We still made good time.
It wasn't bad. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
I
Actually
definitely
made good time. I usually allot us an hour and a half that AMA can go over before I'm like, nope, part 2.
a lot of it's been brought up
Yeah.
in chat, but I definitely want to one day cover the topic of that side of the job in terms of animal care and that's how people veterinarians are able to euthanize animals, and we all think that they're okay with it, but it is, I think, a broader subject of those part of the
Yeah, well,
topic.
mental health
Yeah.
in that industry is not good.
Like having to say
and
goodbye to an animal when it's moved and that sort of type of thing. Like, yeah, I would actually, that's a very big topic because we all like, oh, I want to be a trainer or I want to work with animals, but we hardly ever see that other side of it that is in a very emotional thing and how people like yourselves deal with it. Yeah, I think, as you said, there's a very big emotional part of it that we don't really see or take notice of. And we all think,
I
oh, Dr. Marty's so strong. And so, but we don't know. Maybe he goes home and he's like, this day really was terrible. It's a thing.
yeah. Well, anyway,
But yeah.
that
I
was
wonder as well,
very thought-provoking conversations.
Yeah.
I was just what?
What do you got, Georgie?
I would say, did that, the kind of the coping mechanism of sort of just not being able to really engage with that at work, did you consciously do that, or do you think that just happened sort of over time?
Good question.
I don't think that I consciously did it. I think I think a few things happened. We experienced at work, I experienced a lot of loss. We like lost all of our beluga whales and our porpoises in like a very short period of time. And so so there was like an overloading of grief, I think. And then I also think there's the I was rather new at work and everybody else just had to get up and move on and go about their lives, and so there was a level of like this is what we're doing, and then you also have to you've got a show in 10 minutes and I'm sorry that your favorite animal just died, but it's it's time to go back to work. So so I think that just sort of like almost as like a self-defense sort of mechanism, it just kind of was like, okay, well, this sort of like, you're not going to be able to feel this sad and continue to do this, so you have to figure out a different way. So so I think there was a few things, but I don't think it was really conscious necessarily.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It makes sense that you kind of, your brain just adapted to the situation as it came, as opposed to it being conscious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a very interesting conversation.
And it has been, and I think we covered a lot, Joey, and I really think this almost needs like a continuous series because there's so much more what I actually want to ask. Like, okay, KP, Georgie, so many more questions.
No, I think we can definitely do something similar for the
Yeah, I mean, I only sort of scratched the surface with some of the results. I didn't want to kind of like overload because I had so many different results, but yeah, I didn't want to kind of like throw too much at you guys.
No, it was good, and I think that like JJ said, we'll have to definitely further this discussion in the future.
Because there's a lot that we can cover here. What is our remind us again before
this as an event on Discord also, where it doesn't have to be on a stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we have to stream anyway, and I need content, so.
But I'm happy if anyone's like if you guys want to see something during the week or things like that, I think we happily open up a stage with Georgie. Whether we do it on KP's channel or that, where we can have a Discord conversation. But as we said, it is nice to bring this up in the AMA for everyone to see who's not on Discord as well, because there is a few of you that are on our channel that are not frequently visiting Discord. But it might be something interesting too, because there's so much questions I want to ask as well. But what is the topic we're covering next week, just to remind everyone?
So next week's topic, which Georgie will be with us again, it is
I will, providing my Wi-Fi stands. It might not, but we will try.
Okay.
But it will be about service animals.
Oh, very
and
nice.
we'll be touching on Georgie's research that she's very interested in about animal assisted therapy.
Is there a form that
Yeah.
people can still go to submit answers? Is there anything like that, or is this historical data? Is there any way our audience can participate?
Well, we will be having the form open for people to submit questions.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And yeah, before that, Ray, I'd love you to submit videos of your dog, because I think that crosses that line. I really think your training with
In some
Alcanta
ways, he is like a service dog
Yeah,
for Reha. He's
absolutely.
definitely an emotional support Akaika.
I think
You know?
he's
Emotional
a
support Ikaika.
he's a service dog in making. I swear the actions that he does is amazing. That's why I even said at the beginning, I'm like, I really think, Ray, there's an opportunity to do some research. I mean, Alcanta does a lot of things that service dogs do that you've just trained, and
There are
shops.
different levels
And
of
emotional.
service dogs.
Yes, which we are definitely.
You know, it's not like it has to be service dogs that are, you know, constantly with a person or trained in a very like, they do have to be trained quite rigidly, but there are different levels of it. You know, there are programs that you can sign up to bring a dog into schools, and children can read to the dogs. I mean, I'll bring it up next week because it's one of my favorite things.
And hospitals.
But yeah, there are lots of different levels of it as well.
Which, guys, next week we'll bring it up. But yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the thought-provoking conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Georgie, for coming in. We always tend to just want to have a full-on conversation. We actually need to make these longer sometimes. And thank you, KP,
for having me
so much as well.
Yeah.
And Ray, for your contribution as well. It's been a really, really nice conversation. To my chat, stick around, guys. We're going to chat about something after this. But thank you so much, KP, again. And thank you for the history of the otter video. Oh my gosh, people, go watch that video. 500 otters is responsible for everything. Oh my gosh, so please, guys, go watch that video. My mind was blown that everything's connected to a small little group.
I think it's a really, really good video, and it really sort of also talks about, or like sort of starts our conversation about why and what we're going to be supporting for our
yes, for Otter Awareness
charity.
Week.
So yeah, so thanks.
Remind us the date of that charity, please.
The name of the charity?
Or the day.
It's the day is going to be October 16th. October 16th, all day, 24 hours. So you should hopefully be able to pop in, even if it's just for like a hot second, and say hi. And also, don't forget that you are not required to donate. So if you can't, then don't. Please.
Yes. Your support to the just being on stream and spreading it will be
exactly
will be that. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, ladies, and we will catch you next time. So,
all right.
Good night, you
See you later.
Cheers. Bye.
See.
Okay, so to my little audience, thank you so much for joining. V Grace, so good to see you, V Grace. I haven't seen you in ages. You may have missed it, but welcome here. I've decided I'm going to do something very special for Otter Week, for those of you here, because we've been doing experimental Jackbox games on Saturday. So before I go, we're going to have a special random Jackbox game. If you guys are willing to join in, don't worry. If you don't know how to play, you can join in the audience or you can just watch. But V Grace, thank you for joining. Please be aware. You can see up there we are having Otter Awareness. Otter Awareness. You got the little code there. We're also doing a bit of subs. What is Banana going to tell us? Banana is not going to say anything. Banana is going to play a game with you. We're going to do a very quick Jackbox game because we're trying to figure out Jackbox Games 8's coming out. I do want to pick that up. I see you guys love interacting with us with watching, and I feel that's a very big escape for you. So I feel like we're going to increase the amount of days we're going to do that. Also, we're going to start considering releasing the TAS Talks on a Sunday versus a Friday, because it seems a lot of you are more available to catch the premiere on a Sunday versus a Friday, whether it's a work thing or anything. We got a huge reaction when we released the episode on Sunday. It does allow also TinyTuber to get more time, so Sunday seems to be the good day to do that, and we will be doing a lot more interactive games. So guys, we're going to be doing this very quickly. We're going to be doing an experimental Jackbox game. Because it seems to work. And a lot of you said of the games you hated and of the games you absolutely did not like at all. You were like, no. But there's a new pack coming out with a whole bunch of new games on the 16th. Just in time, actually. On the 14th, I think. I can't wait to actually play with you you guys with the new games. We're going to play. Yes, we're going to play right now. We're going to have one Jackbox game for all of you for participating in the stream. Which means this is your reward. It's also me. I love when you guys participate. Yeah, there it is. I think I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place. Yeah, let's get that up. Unfortunately, I do need to change my setup a little bit. I'm scared it's going to end the stream, so let's not do that. Let's duplicate this screen over here, and we're going to turn everything else off. So, webcam off. Sorry about that. You don't need to see my face when we're playing this. Little otters off. Oh, I love this little otter swimming in the ocean. Those are wild otters, people. And you know what? You know what amazes me? More TAS Talks, yeah. Not more TAS Talks. It's just we're going to be releasing the episodes on a Sunday versus a Friday. They seem to. There's a lot more people available on a Sunday to actually watch the otters then, versus on a Friday that we've seen. We had such a huge amount of people turn up for the premiere. So it'll be your Sunday release, and it gives TinyTuber a little more time to actually make the animations, because we're very much on the quality versus the actual just releasing something. But go onto Twitch. Yes, please go onto Twitch if you want to also play it, because on there you don't need any sort of application. You can just log in and play. But I think that's on the other side. It might be on the other side. So let's just change the title of this. Quickfire Jackbox game. Just gonna change Jackbox. We're gonna be playing Guespionage, one game, and you guys can tell me if you want to play with this next time. I'm trying to see whether or not this app is actually working. Hello, extension. Update. Big Race, Camel, it's good to see all of you. Alright, let's get started. So if you've got a device or on PC, go to jackbox.tv. Hey Possum Z22, so good to see you. If you got a device, join
Agent
in now.
Hawthorne, if you could, act naturally and report to observation.
I am not joining in, by the way. I'm letting all of you join the game. You can join in the audience, I think. Let me go back. Oops, let me go back. I need to see. Family frame and filter on, yes. Requires stitch, no. I will be controlling that. Okay, guys, let's get ready to join in. If you've never played Jackbox game before, just go to that link, jackboxgame.tv, and type in that code, CECF.
Data collection.
CECF.
No, we don't have Prince
Go ahead
Albert.
and join that right now.
Tom, I know it's you.
If you're on
You
Twitch,
guys going to lunch soon?
Yeah. No, we should invite the new guy.
We should. I can't remember
Boss.
his name though.
I can't either.
I haven't met him yet.
Be
I
leave
think
it.
it was Chris.
No.
Something like Chris.
I need to find my extensions. I need to find my extensions.
Kevin, Comfy, Quicksilver, Condoleezza,
Come on,
Quayle.
everyone, join
Go
in!
say, hey, Quayle,
We'll be
wanna go to lunch?
testing this for our
Condiment?
Christmas.
Friday
How
game.
about just
So
walking up
Friday-
and saying,
Friday,
hey, I'm Warren.
Jackbox
Sorry,
will not
I
be
can't remember
changing.
your name.
Can you say Christmas, but sort of mutter it so he thinks you said his name?
Sure. And if it's wrong, I'll just tell him Brian said that was his name.
Right.
Hey, Chris Timonen, and
I hate you guys.
There we go, Donna, Tessa, connect your game. And yes. I think I do need to join
Hey
in.
Dimitri, you watch The Americans?
Yes, every day.
That show is nuts.
I'll wait
All
for
the
everyone
makeup
else to
and
join in, so
wigs
I'll just
and
join the
careful
audience. Or I'm just
wardrobe
gonna join
is
in.
Crazy, right?
We
I
need
don't
we need
know.
more
I thought
people.
It's metadata. I don't
What do
know
I wanna
for
be?
wigs and makeup.
No, Dimitri, I know you watch Americans. I'm talking about the Americans on TV.
Well, there is always Americans on TV. Do all of them wear wigs now?
No, it's a TV show. It's not average Americans walking down the street.
Yes, this would be stupid.
Okay,
I see this
the
already
app should be
the
on.
closed-circuit security camera.
Do you even own a television?
No, not since end of Seinfeld.
Okie dokie.
Welcome here,
Good
then.
talking to you, Dimitri.
Yes, good talk.
Welcome on Twitch. Welcome on YouTube. Feel free to join in anywhere. I swear, I did not know. Are we going to play? Yes, we're going to play. Oh my god, oh my god. So, come on, we need 4 more people! 4 more people!
A reminder to all agents, please do not moon the surveillance satellites. It upsets Agent Waller.
Don't moon the satellites. Otherwise, we're just gonna start the game. Have fun. Hee. Howdy, possum. Oh my
What does
god.
that mean?
That's the alarm that goes off when the world's man bun population has eclipsed 15%.
Complan
do?
flown. Plus
We head to
will
the basement and we wait it out.
work will call. Okay.
Remain calm.
Maddie, if you want to get it started, we'll just go in with it. Get this game started. Just quickly ending off.
3, 2.
Apparently, GeoFinder, you have to pay for it. I was like, what? It's a monthly subscription.
Here at the government, we are constantly watching everything.
Like,
Like
no.
when you put an empty milk jug
No.
back into the fridge because throwing it away seemed like too much effort. It all gets stored and cataloged for government use, but here we use it to play espionage.
Still join in the audience. And then we can find out if this can be a
Guess
Friday.
What? We're now collecting live data from the audience. If
These
we
are
gather
real-
enough data from your audience, the questions are all about them. Otherwise, we'll use the global database. Here we go.
This is actual
First
surveys
up.
that were done on the internet. Actual
Ooh,
surveys.
this is gonna be good.
Good luck.
What percentage of people own a pair of Crocs? Making a good guess. You'll get more points the closer your guess is to the actual percentage. And if you're in the audience, play along by answering the question. Got it. 56%. Everyone else, do you think the correct answer is higher or lower?
Ooh. Okay, so there should be an audience there on Twitch. I don't know if it popped up because we didn't start
Only one
as
of you thinks it's
Jackbox
higher.
Games.
And the correct answer
Yeah,
is...
there is. The button is on.
18%! You weren't within 30%, so no points for you. Who said lower? Well done. You get points. Okay, who's up next?
It should be on, but we didn't start with the game, so probably that's
Typey,
why.
typey.
Ooh.
What percentage of people have received Dr. Seuss's Oh the Places You'll Go as a gift?
You can go directly on your phone. What? Oh, people have received Dr. Seuss. Oh, this is. God.
35%. What do y'all think? Higher or lower?
Believe it.
It's okay. This game won't take 20 minutes, I promise you. You can just go into the audience if you want. It won't take 20 minutes. It's going to be a very quick game. We're only playing one. We're only playing one.
What do you think? Higher
One
or
game.
lower? Looks like an even split. Now let's get to the right answer. 23%! And
Woo!
yet 6% of those people still went absolutely nowhere.
I got very close. Yay!
Let's see who got it right.
It is Monday, folks. I didn't expect
Smart,
anyone
yes.
to join in. It's
Here's your
Monday.
points.
It's like a work day. Like, I don't want to play.
Next up,
That is.
Believe it.
line. What percentage of people attended high schools that staged productions of Our Town? 20%. Okay, higher or lower?
Ooh, what percentage of people attended high schools That stage production.
Just
say
one
higher.
person says lower. Okay, right answer is
Oh, someone dropped off.
13%. And every single one of them was moving, I'm sure.
Oh, Sid.
Who got it right? Well done. You get points.
Oh, I was actually meant to say lower. I know I said higher.
Who's next?
Hi, Dad.
Ta-da!
What should I search for in the old Surveillance Pro next? Ooh, I know. What percentage of people do not use passcode or fingerprint locks on their phones?
Oh. That's a very big one. Everyone in a relationship does that I've seen here.
48%.
I want to be aggressive.
Everyone pick higher or lower.
V-Grace, if you're still with us, you can watch the VOD, the
Everyone says
the
higher
VOD
except for
of
one
this
of you.
afterwards. For
And
the AMA.
Surveil says 33%. And to those people we say, while you're at it, please keep your front doors unlocked.
Well
Let's
done,
see who
Tessa.
got it right. Ooh, points for you.
No, but I know everyone that I've known to put passwords on their
That's
phone.
it
I'm
for
like, what are you
round
trying to
one.
hide?
Let's take a look at the scores.
Hi, Dad. Believe it.
Ooh, Maddie in the lead.
Time for round 2. Who's up first? I don't know. How about
Kites. What is what?
what percentage of people have flown kites in the past year?
Okay, but what year is it? What year is this gaming? Answer me that. Oh, that's why I picked high. I realized why I picked high.
Got it. 22%. In round 2, you can double down if you think the guess is off by 15% or more. Just pick much higher or much lower. If you're right, you'll earn double the money. If not, womp womp.
Hi, Dad. Believe it.
Just one of you is saying higher. Okay, let's see the right answer.
Ah!
8%. Yeah, the numbers dropped off a cliff.
Ooh,
since
Maddie's
the
gonna
insult,
get big
Go
points.
fly a kite. Went out of use.
Maddie, well done.
Who got it right?
Look at
Here's
Maddie.
some points.
Oof, and Tessa. But Maddie
As for you,
doubled down.
That's too bad. That answer was closer than 15%.
What?
Shouldn't have doubled down.
Oh, I thought it would be right. Okay, I can't do math. I can't
Next
do
up.
math. I'm not good at math.
Ooh, I remember seeing good surveillance for this yesterday.
What? Farmhands. Okay. I'm a bit concerned.
What percentage of people have worked on farms for at least one day? 50%.
I'm gonna say right
What do
down
y'all
the middle.
think? Higher or lower?
I live in a country where most people are farms. Like seriously, most
Believe it.
most places here are farms.
Hi, Dad.
Just one person says lower. Okay, let's see the right answer. 41%. And no, working at a food co-op in Brooklyn doesn't count.
Ooh.
Let's see who got it right. Here's some
Maddie
points.
again. Maddie, have you played this game before?
Okay, who's up next?
Believe it.
Audience only
Okay,
apply
computer,
if.
what do you
under
have for
fi-
this one?
Oh, okay. Well, we had openings, people. We had openings.
What percentage of people usually
too.
fold triangular slices of pizza before biting into them?
What? Oh, they folded like that. I sometimes do that and sometimes don't. It depends on the size of the slice of the pizza, surely.
56%. Everyone else, higher or lower?
Yeah, apparently Jon Stewart eats it like that. That's how you eat a New York
One of you
pizza.
thinks it's higher. And Surveil says
Ooh. Oh.
11%. Your guess wasn't within 30% of the correct answer, so you don't get any points.
Oh.
Who got it right? Nice job. I've
Oh.
got some points for you.
Donna.
And what have we here? Great answer. Double points for saying much lower.
Damn.
Next up,
Hi, Deb.
let's see, what would be good? How about this?
Faxes. I'm sorry. Me too.
What percentage of people have received paper faxes in the past year?
What? What year? What year? It matters. This is like, oh my god.
Anytime now. 47%. Okay, higher or lower?
Me leaving.
Oh, I'm gonna take a chance there.
Lower across the board.
Imagine if it's
and
higher.
the correct answer is 44%.
What, Tessa?
Dang, you nailed that guess.
Damn. Damn.
Let's see who got it right. Nice job. I've got some points for you.
I said lower, but
It's time for the final round. We
You know what
stalked everyone in the audience to learn how they would answer this question. What do people believe is the tastiest flavor of Jelly Bellies? Let's see what we have.
Oh god, imagine if there was a lot of audience. Oh god, what the hell, what the
You'll
heck?
need to pick the 3 most popular answers to get points. Ready? Go! If you're in the audience, how you answer the question will affect who gets points.
I don't even have jelly bellies here. We have jelly babies. Oh, how much audience do we have?
Don't forget, you can pick 3 answers.
Holy crap, people! We had 4 players and most
All right,
people
let's
in the
see what everyone
audience.
picked. Okay, computer,
wow.
show us the most popular answers.
What? What? Dr. Pepper? Really?
Now let's see those final scores.
I don't know what jelly bellies are. Buttered popcorn. I need treats after this. I need to go eat my chocolate yogurt. What?
Congratulations! As a bonus prize, I'll tell you which presidents were really robots.
Tessa! Tessa! Remember? Tessa, remember you said you weren't doing good at this game? Remember when you said that? You won! You won, Tessa. I won't lie, I thought Maddie was doing very well. Tessa, you won! You didn't lose, you won! The whole time I suck at this. Look at that, Tessa, you got 10,500 points. You actually won in the 3rd round. JJ jinxed me, I'm so sorry. Tessa got the 47% answer, the 140% answer, and then won the... I drank so much coffee and water during the AMA. Did you need to go pee, Rhea? Hey, Rhea made an appearance! That's our other moderator. Oh gosh. Well done, Tessa. Never doubt yourself. What does this show? Never ever doubt yourself. Never doubt yourself. Because you never know what might happen. It would be nice to see you on... I love when I see you on our streams, Rhea. But we're always at different time zones. It's terrible. Like, I keep missing Jess's streams because she's streaming at unbelievably different times. I need to see her cooking stream. But anyway, thank you for joining us, everyone. So, did you like this game? Would you like to see it on Friday?
Hey, did we ever get those results about whether cult members like chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Huh?
No, all of our field agents keep getting discovered and converted.
Ugh, I'm just gonna say chunky then.
Okay, so Maddie says yes. We got a yes. We got a yes. I don't like that game. So that's a no. We got a yes and a no. Anyone else? I'm not gonna create a poll for this.
What are you doing with those classified folders you're leaving the building with?
It's not
Yes,
what you
Yali
think.
says
These
yes.
are gag
I came in
See,
too
it
late
says
all the time.
classified.
I'm
Yeah, 'cause
sorry.
you crossed out classified and wrote that yourself with a Sharpie.
Leon, turn on notifications. You'll get it on your phone.
See you later, Snowden.
Sorry, Leon. Leon, put this in your calendar. Friday, 9 o'clock. GMT plus 2 time, German time. 9 o'clock German time is when we're starting the
Warren,
next game.
Can you do me a huge favor?
Put that in your
I'm not
schedule.
calling the State Department for you.
Come on. I
Insta
don't have an
IME.
ex-girlfriend who works there.
I guess I like that since I
Why?
won. Yes, I have no opinion.
Headshot of Colin Powell,
Well, we
circa
have 2 more yeses
2002.
and 1 no.
It's for my niece.
We'll see.
I already got her a Madeleine
We'll see.
Albright. What is she, a collector?
She's 15.
So we will these are for the end of stream games. So that's how we will play those. But as mentioned, Murder Party 1. There's a different Murder Party. I didn't even see that. There's a different Murder Party. Yeah, little 12 p.m. DST. Thank you, Tessa. Okay, thank you everyone for joining today. V-Grace, all different time zones confuse me. Listen, if you're on our Discord, when Tessa posts an event, the time is actually in your time zone. It'll show your time. So if she creates it for 9 o'clock my time, it'll appear as your time, whatever country you're in. Okay, so make sure you follow us on Discord so you know when our next event is happening. The other thing I'm going to experiment doing that, because one of you guys actually DM'd me, is I might actually leave like a trivia game running on stream during the week. I'm just going to leave it on. So whoever wants to play will play. So they will join, and anyone who else wants to join, you can organize it in the game channel. You guys can play by yourselves and that. The nice thing about Discord is that there's no lag or delay like a stream is. So you guys can play Jackbox game whenever you want during the week. If you like that idea, let me know. Especially from the VIOs, let me know. And V-Grace, it'll nice. Good to see you. I don't know if you've been popping onto Discord, but please join us on the Discord channel if you have time. If you struggle how to use it, please let us know. We will help you. Because I mean, you've got KP's channel, you've got Jess's channel, you've got my channel. There's so many channels that you could actually have so much fun with. But oh, that's a fun idea. I must definitely do that. No fun playing without you. Look, the core games we'll be playing on Friday. The Hotel Horror, the Quick Flash Pro, but the other quiz games that are coming out, and like this game and things like that, I'll leave out during the week so you guys can have fun when you have. We also have a trivia game that we do have, but you can actually play Jackbox games as well. I might join in sometimes. But yeah, remember, Taz Talks, new day, possibly Sunday. It seems to work out a lot better. But thank you so much, V-Grace. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ian. Sorry you joined late. Thank you. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, everyone. I'm on all servers. Yeah. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Tessa, for moderating tonight. I really appreciate it. And as always, we will catch you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.